Hello, Olga is here, a certified nutritionist, personal trainer, PhD, and today we're going to talk about how and why diets work and what is one single and compulsory condition for losing weight. So we need to meet only one condition to lose weight, and this is energy deficit. For everything we do, we need energy. It is measured in joules or calories. We need energy to maintain our vital functions like breathing and blood flow. We need energy for small everyday movements. We need energy for exercise, and we need energy for food digestion. And then we also consume energy from food and drinks. So to lose weight, to burn fat, we need to burn more calories than we eat. And to gain fat, gain weight, we need to eat more calories than we burn. This is the law of thermodynamics. Scientists use it in their studies. Olympic athletes and their nutritionists use it to achieve target weight by the time of competitions. When an athlete, for example, a boxer, needs to make a certain weight category. So it also works for ordinary people. But how helpful is this information for you? We all know that to lose weight, we need to move more and eat less, but this information is never ever helpful. What should we do with this information? Should we start tracking calories with our Fitbits and Apple Watches? Should we start counting the calories we consume using apps? No, this is not necessary at all. I, as a nutritionist, keep this in mind when designing your program, but it doesn't mean that you need to track it. Some of my clients do track, but only a fraction of them. Moreover, there is a huge room for an error when we try to estimate our daily energy burn and our daily energy consumption. Modern devices, such as Apple Watch, are quite amazing in estimating your burned energy. However, even they are not yet precise, because they use generic formulas. And you're not an average person. And let's take people who naturally have high metabolism, those whose non-exercise activity thermogenesis is high. These are people who are naturally fidgety. These are the people who eat whatever they want, don't exercise, and stay lean. Or let's take women with polycystic ovaries. There is some data that their metabolism is 500 calories lower. Their total daily energy expenditure is maybe 500 calories lower than an average woman of their weight. Now, let's take a look on the other side of energy equation, energy consumption. There can be 20% of an error on food labels. Then take popular calorie tracking apps such as MyFitnessPal. How many errors are there? Then there is a human factor. When we input information into the app, we may make a mistake. Then how do we estimate meals when we're going out and we didn't cook ourselves? So on both sides of equation, there can be a huge error unless we are in the laboratory, where scientists are using special equipment to determine how many energy we burn, how many energy we take in. But again, this doesn't mean that the law of thermodynamics does not work. It just means that we need to use it with caution. It is used by scientists. It is used by nutritionists of Olympic athletes. It is evidence-based. No matter what popular celebrity doctors may say, trying to sell their books. So if we do not count calories, if we do not track, how do we know that we achieve calorie deficit? What do we need to do to achieve calorie deficit and lose weight? There is no one-fits-all approach. When I work with clients, I take into consideration so many different factors. And their lifestyle is one of the most important ones. If a person doesn't have time to exercise, we find other solutions. If the person has problematic relationships with food, we do not focus on weight loss at all. We first sort emotional regulation and relationships with food and body image. Now, let's leave it for a moment and talk about popular diets. How do they work? And spoiler, they do work. But how many people gain weight back? Think how many popular diets you know: Dukan, Keto, Paleo. intermittent fasting, clean eating, Slimming World, Weight Watchers, and so many other diets. And they all have one thing in common. They trick you into calorie deficit. They make you to eat less. And even if you get your nutrition plan from a nutritionist, it's still all about bringing you into calorie deficit. So there is no magic in diets, in generic diets, in popular diets, and even in your personalized nutrition plan. So what works for your friend may not work for you. More often than not, people gain weight back because nobody teaches them how to maintain weight. Nobody teaches them which habits they need to build into their life long term to be able not to regain weight. Moreover, such generic diets can be dangerous. First of all, it's mental health. If you start dieting from a bad mental place, if you do not accept your body and your body is not enough and you want to be thinner, to fit in, to be accepted by others, to be loved, you're more likely to engage into rigid dieting, restrict yourself too much, over-exercise, and not be kind to yourself. So tough dieting plus lack of self-compassion, bad relationships with yourself, with your body, may lead to disordered eating. So before you diet, you really need to check in with yourself. Do you have good relationships with food? Do you have good relationships with yourself? Do you accept your body as it is right now? This should be done first before you start any diets, any food restrictions. Then let's talk about physical health. For example, an already lean woman who wants to lose just last 3-5 kilograms and she goes on a very strict diet and she just does not have enough energy availability. This means that very soon her sex hormones will become imbalanced and she may lose ovulation and menstruation. Her period will be irregular, and this is not only for fertility, this is important for health in general. Our bodies function the best and are the healthiest when they function as they designed by nature. And then also, diets may not help. As I said, if it helped to a friend or a relative, it doesn't mean it will work for you. You will put in that mental effort, that cognitive restraint, and all for nothing. Because if we perceive that we're dieting and we're limiting ourselves and restricting foods, it does not mean that we're getting into calorie deficit. Imagine putting in mental effort for nothing. I'll give you a couple of examples. My friend's sister became vegan and lost 10 kilograms, 20 pounds. Fair enough. She used to eat all that fatty pieces of meat, low quality meat, chicken breast from KFC, burgers, sausages, really low quality bacon, and it's very calorie dense. So she used to overeat and she didn't have enough vegetables as well. And the more vegetables we eat, the fewer calories we eat in total. So it's a really cool trick to automatically start eating fewer calories. So if a person has in general really bad Western diet and then she switches into veganism and she starts eating a lot of whole, healthy, delicious vegetables and stops eating all that rubbish meat, low quality meat, high fat meat, of course she loses weight. But it will not work for me because as a nutritionist, I already eat a lot of vegetables because I know how important they are for my health. And I already eat high quality lean pieces of meat and a lot of fish. So if I become vegan, I will not lose weight. Or take intermittent fasting. This is when we fast, for example, for 16 hours and eat during 8 hours. There are different protocols. It can be even 5-2 diet is a type of intermittent fasting, when you eat as normal for 5 days and 2 days very low calories. We can class it as intermittent fasting. But again, if you eat too much during your eating window, you may not achieve calorie deficit. And talking about dangers of it, again, if you take a woman already lean, who wants to get even leaner, who wants to get shredded and starts intermittent fasting, that also can negatively influence her hormones. Because female body is not designed to starve. Some women are more robust and handle it well, but again, probably it's better not to experiment on yourself if you are already lean, pre-menopausal woman. So to sum up, diets work by tricking you into eating less, calorie deficit. They work for some, but more often they don't, and very often people regain weight. Diets pose a huge risk for your mental and physical health. And how to lose weight without ruining your mental, physical health and quality of life. There is no one-fits-all approach, it is all individual, and it is always better to hire an educated professional, specialist, when you're trying to lose weight.